It's time for another Debt Snowball update. Hi, and welcome back. I'm Kamika, and this is Well Balanced Wallet, where I help you create healthy money habits and live a life that you love on your current budget. Today, we're going to take a look at the May Debt Snowball update, and I want to be honest, May was not the best Debt Snowball update for us, but I'll get into that in just a second. First, I want to talk about our budget. So we were very close to going over in our groceries and restaurants category, and we ended up making it to the end of the month with $1.90 in each of those categories. And that was basically due to poor planning. In May, we had a total of $110 left over in our budget categories, and I ended up adding that money to our Debt Snowball category, and I talked about that a little bit more in our June budget with me, so if you missed that one, be sure to check it out. Now let's talk about our Debt Snowball for May. We were able to put $271.03 into our Debt Snowball category this month, and now we have a total of $1,686.95 in our debt payoff category. So as usual, our mortgage was $1,212, and we paid the $75 extra towards the principal only. So the remaining amount of our mortgage is $185,717.10. Now for the disappointing part. We ended up taking on new debt in May, and it sucks, but we feel like that was the best decision for us at that time. My husband and I have a few medical tests that are pretty expensive that we each have to get every year, and depending on when we get the test done and how much of our deductible we've paid towards, we may or may not have to pay out of pocket for these tests. So my husband had his test done this month, and we ended up putting the balance on our Care credit card. And if you're not familiar with Care Credit, it's a credit card that you can use to pay for out-of-pocket healthcare expenses that are not covered by your insurance. It is subject to credit approval, but a lot of healthcare providers offer promotional financing when you use your Care Credit card. So you may get a percentage off, or you may get interest-free for a certain amount of time. It just depends on what type of special that healthcare provider is offering at the time. So for my husband's testing, after insurance, we were left with the balance of $1,342.02 that was out of pocket, and the Care credit card offered us to have no interest until April of 2022. So that's what we decided to do. And we've already made a $300 payment in May. So that brought the balance down to $1,042.02. And we feel like we're going to be able to pay that off way before April 2022. When the promotional offer is up. So the decision to put this balance on the Care credit card was pretty easy for us because we've done this medical stuff before, and we see how healthcare works in America. And we know that if the testing comes back and any procedures are needed, certain hospitals won't do anything without you paying your portion up front. So we had the money to pay for this testing, but we decided that we should keep that money in our budget just in case something comes up and we need to pay for a procedure. We want to have that cash on hand. So we're just going to kind of wait around and see what happens with the testing before we decide to pay this balance off. So that is why we felt like putting the balance on the Care credit card was the best decision for us at the time. So my testing is coming up in July, and we'll probably have to do the same thing for that as well. But we are prepared to do that, and we're okay with it. Sometimes it just gets hard because healthcare is very expensive, but we try not to let that discourage us on our debt-free journey. And if you have noticed, the majority of the debt that we have is medical and our mortgage. So we're just chipping away at it the best we can. So now let's take a quick look at our savings goals for this year. So first up, we are saving money for a car. We don't have plans to buy a car right now, but we're just saving the money so that we don't have to finance it when the time comes. And we have put $54.40 towards that this month for a total of $3,139.16. So far. I think this goal is going pretty well so far, and I feel really good about us being able to purchase a car in cash when the time comes. The next goal is our home maintenance and repair category, and we are trying to save $10,000 in that category for this year. In the month of April, we added $422 to that category for a total of $2,246.66. We're making a little bit of progress there, but we had to pay for pest control for the next year, so that was $185 that we spent out of that goal. And for the last goal, we are trying to pay off a total of $25,000 this year. So I don't think I've mentioned this in any of the other videos this year, but so far this year we've paid off $11,177.08. So that means that we are at 44% of our goal. So that is the May Debt Snowball update. I know that I've expressed frustration for the past couple of Debt Snowball updates, but sometimes this is what a debt-free journey looks like. I'm sure we're going to get back in a groove and get back to the uplifting updates pretty soon. So now I want to hear from you. How's your debt snowball going? And did you run into any roadblocks in the month of May? Let me know in the comments. That's it for this video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and click the link on your screen right now for more Well Balanced Wallet content. See you there.